Hello and welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today we're going to go over Tymna Kraum, the blue farm, a deck which tries to just grind some value, whether it's through its generals or from its creatures, to just, I guess, grind the game, put in beats, draw cards, have presence on the field, and eventually find a combo line. And of course, we're in these colors, so we're going to either Thassa's Oracle for the win, or do Underworld Breach things for the win. If, hypothetically, Dockside were to get banned, does this deck suffer? I don't know. I don't know. It's sort of a stupid question to ask because, like, the game just continuously gets faster and stronger, faster and stronger. So, you know, there'll always be like a better deck out there. For me personally, this isn't my playstyle of deck, so I'm not like a super fan of it. I haven't tested this out in the field yet, but I have goldfished it a couple of times. It's fine. It's fine. For whatever reason, I like the Esper build to this deck better. You can land that for turn one Malcolm, and just like teeny tiny evasive creatures just really get in. The problem with this is we're in 4 colors, and the colors are really all over the place. You have double white, right? Double white, where white is the weakest color in the deck, and every color is really important. So it could get a little messy, from my experience. Just like sitting with cards that are just dying to get played. So yeah, Kraum wants to get in for 5 CMC, and then he just starts swinging. And then when your opponent starts to, play land, play a rock, play a creature, I guess you go plus off of that. And Tymna, you know what she does, right? She's the Piper Parabo of the format, right? She's in that gangbang with every other partner. She gets in early, she puts in work, gains life, draw cards. You know how it goes. Since we share colors with Jeskai, we could do intuition things, our unbeatable intuition line, of course, which includes Underworld Breach, Lion's Eye Diamond, and the Savine's Reclamation. Whatever they pick, it's a win from there usually. And the Brainstorm, because in itself it's a win con, could be a win con, and it helps to feed the yard for your Underworld Breach things. We got Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Console because it's too easy. And our Tainted Pact. What's going on? There you go. Now, never underestimate the power of something as goofy as a Loyal Apprentice. A Loyal Apprentice, in combination with Tymna, is very, very strong. That Thopter will get in because it has, evasion. It flies, and you will, should draw a card off of that. So don't underestimate the power of Loyal Apprentice if you're in Tymna red. Another creature, Grim Hireling, is very, very strong. Story time. There are people in like the community, I guess in the cedh community, they're kind of brain dead, and they don't know cards unless someone tells them what cards to put in their deck. And so I don't know if they can't read or if they don't know that spoilers exist online. But a Grim Hireling is a really, really strong card. Some lists have it, some don't. Some will argue that the 4 CMC is a little too high. But in these farm decks, it puts in a tremendous amount of work. Doubling up on those treasure tokens when you start swinging your dudes in different directions. And then it's just really shit spot removal. Like, you really can't ask for more in a creature package. The same thing is going on actually right now as we speak, where a lot of decks I have noticed are running counterbalance in their deck, like it's something new, like it's a new card, right? It's something that exists in the game a long time. Like legacy players have been abusing counterbalancer since forever. I don't know if it's still in the format. I don't watch legacy for years, but it's like I guess someone won a tournament, and it's like now they're being told what to put in their decks, and these things are brand new to them. It's like, bro, Jesus Christ. Searing Spirit Guide, right? Some more derpy creatures, just pitch, and hopefully it accelerates your Kraum. Malevolent Hermit, which of course, so I don't know how the community feels about these silver foil double feature cards. They kind of look like trash. Hold on, they look like trash, but like in a couple of years from now, they might be really, really sought after, right? Because they're so hard to find. I'm really, really eyeballing a hull breaker right now, a foil hull breaker. And for whatever reason, these silver foils, or I don't know what they're called, hold lower value than their booster box versions in foil and extended foil. And I don't get it, right? I can go to a store right now and find a million of these foil, but it's hard to find the double feature foil, even if it's like kind of ugly, but whatever. Hermits in the deck, we can wheel it away when we're ready to do our Underworld Breach. Loot these scoops. You just cast them, and should go off uncontested. Uncontested. Dockside Extortionist. Glad to be here, right? Just cast it for value. I know other people build this blue farm deck with like bounce effects to abuse Dockside, but I mean, it's kind of like a pipe dream, right? It's anime fantasy. You're not gonna like, I don't know. You're gonna kind of get value off your first Dockside, but these too many bounce spells. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. A little bit of hate, right? So slow the game down a little bit, which is still very important in deck building, in deck construction. Because you're not always going to have like the nuts. You're not always going to have like the nutty hands, and so you need a way to kind of slowly try to catch up with your opponent when you're falling behind. And cards like Dryneth, Gilded Drake, Dorothy Voidwalker, and Opposition Agent are really good at that. To a degree, even Phantasmal Image, right? It's a very, very long, grindy game. We have Ranger Captain of Yos, and of course his squad. We got a Hope of Girapurt, Aragavan, Asper Sentinel, Sarah Ascendant. I've been playing with this enough where I think it deserves to be upgraded. Oh, I don't know why this iconic Masters foil version of Sarah Ascendant is worth more than the OG foil. So some of these things I don't understand. I can't wrap my brain around it. But yeah, it deserves respect, so I'm gonna probably foil this out. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a good card. I'm spell slinging, so I'm gonna get some value. And if I get there with Delirium, it's nice with Tymna to just draw cards. So let's get into our instants and sorceries. We're gonna talk about our counters package, starting things off with Silence, the best counter of them all. Just shut off your opponents. Flush the Storm, which is nice with our Underworld Breach loops. Miscast. I've been seeing a lot more delays, the card delay being used in the lists, but there's still so many like 1 CMC, free CMC, right? Free CMC cards out there that I'm not quite ready for, like the mana drains and delay. Maybe if I were in less colors. Or maybe if I have a very, very fast combo. Maybe in a Cody deck or like a Zer deck where I know I'm gonna like go off like turn 2, turn 3, and I have to protect my combo. I'm not trying to grind out the game where like spot removal is way more important than the counters. So I'm not on board yet with delay. I mean, I own the cards, but I'm just not interested. Dispel, Swan Song, Spell Pierce, Mental Misstep, Fierce Guardianship, of course. Our commanders are going to be on board because that's what we're trying to do, just grind value with them. So, of course, Guardianship makes a cut. Force of Will and Pact of Negation. No space for the red one. Not Fierce Guardianship. Deflecting SWAT. Yeah, no, just no space for Deflecting SWAT. I had to make like really crazy cuts to this deck. Really, a lot of cards that are like my favorites are just not included in this list. Our tutors, we have a Gamble, Mystical Tutor, a Vampiric Tutor, no Enlightened Tutor. I don't believe. There's enchantment or a artifact that we're in dire and desperate need to find. Like I'm not in a rush to find the Underworld Breach. Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, a Praetor's Grasp. I'm so hurt. The reprint really hurt the price of this. But yeah, Praetor's Grasp, just get whatever you want from your opponents. Again, the other half of your combo, and bing boom bam, you win. Our rituals, we have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Call in the Weak, Rain of Filth, Red of Flame, and Jessica's. Well, I know the other Red of Flame, the OG Red of Flame, is way more expensive. It's just something about that border, right? The card frame, I just like. Our teeny tiny removal package, we have a Train of Vapor, Winds of Rebuke, Cyclonic Rift, and a Toxic Deluge. Ideally, I don't want to go to mid game. I just want like the creatures like to connect, to get the little bit of value that I can with them before like bigger things come on board, before like the first board wipe happens. But by then I'm already in a position to find a win, and so that's what I'm trying to do with this deck. I know we're currently in like a really boring stacks metagame, so you know, I probably wouldn't play this deck against stacks. Probably prefer something else, maybe something in green, where I can use the Bosejo against them and other things. But yeah, I probably wouldn't run this deck against a stacks pod. One, because you're definitely gonna get fucked with like a Magus of the Moon or a Blood Moon. That's gonna really hurt you. And two, like I think their bears are just bigger than my beats, and bears beat beats. I don't know. Peer into the Abyss. Not a draw package. Not the draw package I like. I miss my Preordains and Brainstorm. There's no Brainstorm in this deck. No Git Probe. Ponders. I really like those 4 cards. I think they're really important in a deck. All week, the weekend that just passed, I was just playtesting my first Sliver deck that I featured in a previous video, and there were no cantrips in that deck, and I went hellbent, where I was like forced to bring out the first Sliver just as a body and start swinging with that. And I just don't like plays like that. I like my cantrips. I like to just filter through the deck, even if that filter is like very, very marginal, I just find it really, really important to be able to do that. So, I don't know. I might be boomer, but I just like, ooh, I like that sort of speed. And so when you have a heavy, heavy colored deck, you can't really run those type of cards, especially as time goes on. More like these like universal hate bear stacks pieces, right? These creatures that need to be in the decks, right? Like things like endurance, things like opposition agent, Daughty Voidwalker, like that. It really takes up like, so many card slots, and now it's starting to like bleed into like the cards that I find important. It's weird. It's weird. The game's in a weird state. I hate stacks meta. Add-ons, Wheel of Fortune, Windfall, and a Time Twister. There's no Wheel of Misfortune in this deck. There should be a Wheel of Misfortune in this deck. Why is there no Wheel of Misfortune? I'm trying to fill up the yard very quickly to do Underworld Breach. So maybe when I put the Moxfield link, there's always changes in those. And by the way, I'm trying to do better with that. There's always going to be should always be a Moxfield link in the description. And it's just like the new changes. After things are play tested, and new things come out, I might not update the video for that year, but the deck will be updated on the Moxfield link. Let's move on to our enchantments, artifacts, and lands. Starting things off, we have a Mystic Remora, a Mystic Study, and that's it. Maybe I squeeze in a counterbalance. Hold on a second. Yeah, maybe I'll squeeze in counterbalance somewhere. And I guess you could, right? Because the average CMC of this deck, I could probably do like blind counterbalances and be successful, right? You play a 2-drop, I blind counterbalance into a 2-drop, so and then just hold up your fetch lands, so you can just manipulate your top deck. I know some decks specifically manipulate the top deck and are all about like counterbalance and Sensei's Top synergies. As a matter of fact, I just got my Kamigawa stuff in the mail, like all of it, and so maybe I'll revisit Circu Lantern Control with the jellyfish. What's the jellyfish's name? The reality chip, right? Maybe I'll build tinker with the Zur, Shimmer Zur, with the reality chip, right? Because the reality chip is an artifact. If I flash it in with Shimmer Mirror, put on whoever, and just if I whiff, I could start manipulating my top deck and keep going with my combo. So there's Boseiju, which goes in everything. There's the Jinkataxis, which I want to feature in a Tasker deck because it's a really great Neoform target. Yeah, and maybe even a reality chip in the command zone. I could feature that. So I'm really excited for Kamigawa. Wishclaw Talisman, Lotus Petal, Jewel Lotus, Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Indulgence, Arcane Signet, Fell Warstone, Chrome Mox, Mox Opal, Mox Diamond, Arcalis Rocks. We have a Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, and a Soul Rain. And so we have Atawara, Soaring City. Is more expensive on the channel side, but there are a couple of legends in here, right? To maybe help mitigate that, to help reduce the cost. But it's still fine. I'm ready to go off before an Underworld Breach combo. I could just pitch it and bounce like a rule of law or something obnoxious like that. So our lands package, we have all 10 fetches. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this deck crumbles to like a Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. So just remember that when building 4-color blue farm. We have all 6 duels, but we have only 4 shocks. And those shocks are all the blues and the Rakdos one. And then for the other duels, we only have the Dimir one, Morphic Pool, and the Rakdos one, Luxury Suite. And then for our other lands, we have Ancient Tomb, Gemstone Cavern, Command Tower. The sleeves are really dulled out. I have to get new sleeves. I may have a ton of these blue sleeves. I gotta re-sleeve some cards. Exotic Orchard, Mana Confluence, and a City of Brasserino. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. We have our blue farm deck, Sands Green, in 2022. Coming up next, Kamigawa stuff. A lot of stuff from that set really helps the format, even Pauper. So stay tuned for that. Thanks.